Hello the internets, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and today's topic is actually going to be Julia Phase 2 Treasure and why she's shaping to be the strongest treasure dispatch after Tove most likely, because Tove utility is really good for the shotgun team, but then Julia's damage is actually really good. So let's talk about some tests we've been doing on Phase 2 and also a couple of things we need to mention. As usual, before we start, leave a like, subscribe, help me grow the channel. And the couple of things we need to mention before we show tests and we talk about this is a Julia that, even though it's core 7, has no elemental and only one attack line, which is important to mention because when I'm showing tests on union range or normal bosses, we have to understand that she will be performing better if you fully invest than clearly having just one attack line at 12%, right? And then the second thing is the skills, because the Phase 3 Treasure will make it so she's hitting a lot harder. Now, why would this be the case? So, first of all, skill 1, super simple. Before, it was trash because it was when last bullet hits for 15 seconds on a 60 bullet magazine assault rifle. Now this is after landing 6 critical hits. You will be able to fully stack this before you do your full burst rotation. And this is on a team with like Siren, Drone and Helm. So like a pretty decent team in terms of burst speed on auto. Of course, if you were to be manually in Red Hood, Alice, or specific rocket launchers, you might not have enough time on the first burst to get 5 stacks, but she can get the 5 stacks really fast because she has really high crit rate now thanks to this treasure. And not only that, but she will also be increasing her damage a lot. And not only she's getting these crescendo stacks, but when you land 8 critical hits, she's gonna be doing Marcato, which is just an 88% of final attack as additional damage, but if that Marcato crits, it's 188 rather than just 88. Pretty good. And then lastly, when entering battle, you forcefully use skill 1, aka you will be getting 1 stack already of Crescendo. Pretty nice. Skill 2 does not change much, but it's enough that it's worth talking about it. So before it was as a critical rate for 10 seconds on a 20-second cooldown, aka 50% uptime on a 3-minute fight. Now, not only you're getting the same crit rate, you're also getting 20% attack and normal attack critical rate, making it so you basically will be able to reach almost 100 between this 26, the 36 you're getting here, the 10, 15%, what is the base crit rate? It's 10 or 15, right? And then whatever buffer you have or lines on your gear. So this is really good to achieve even more crit than characters like Kay and Eve. And then lastly, and the reason why she is still missing a lot of damage, her burst. Her burst usually hits 5 different targets, and this is 500% of final attack. But now to random enemies is going to be attacking sequentially 5 times, meaning on a boss you can hit it 5 times, while previously you would only be hitting the boss once for 500. Now you are hitting the boss 5 times for 500 on a final attack buff, which means all of the buffs, all of the gear, everything else is accounted for. So that's what I was saying, that right now she's looking good, and already on Phase 2, this is a character that I will consider a T2, but it's gonna be getting even better when we can test that Phase 3. Now, a T2, what does that even mean, Sefhi? Well, right now, I will put, if I go to B3s, I will put her on a T2 category, aka with characters like Guillotine, like Summer Sakura, like Kay, Mana, Maxwell, the Laplace Treasure, etc. So let's go a little bit over the damage numbers we've been getting and a couple of interesting things. So clearly, when we talk about Iron Week content, the other girls are gonna be destroying her, and it's not even that bad. Again, considering this is a Julia with 0 elemental and only 1 attack line, right? She has 5.8 versus 8.6 on a Rappi B1 and 10 bill on a Raven B3. And then with Eve, this goes up to 6.5 because Eve is applying damage taken, while Eve is doing 11 and Rappi is doing 9. All of these characters have elemental and attack lines, multiple of them. Actually, the only character that does not have elemental lines or attack lines, I think it's only like 1 elemental line, it's Rapid Red Hood. Funny enough, Scarrow has not invested into her a lot. And then when we go into neutral content, is when it gets a little bit more interesting, because again, Rapid Red Hood will of course destroy every single character in the game. This was Wind Weak, and Rapid without the elemental lines and attack is doing more than Little Mermaid, which is fucking crazy. If we put her against Raven again, 8 billion versus 4.8, and she was doing 6.5 here and 5.8 in there. It's not a huge increase for Julia, because again, clearly we are missing good lines, but it is what it is. Still, it serves as a good baseline on what we can expect for that Phase 3. And then also, if we compare her with like normal characters like Dorothy or Mihara, Mihara is doing 9.4, Dorothy is doing 8.6, and she's doing the same, 4.6, 4.8. on a basic beach team with Little Mermaid Crown Helm. And then I also compare her with other tier 2 characters. And that's what I said, that right now, even at phase 2, she's already like a T2 character. Because she's doing the same damage as other characters. Again, this is neutral content, and don't take these tests as great tests, because they are not. All of these characters, of course, will be used only on elemental content. You are not using Guillotine outside of a water team. You are not using Summer Sakura outside of either a sustained damage team or a wind team, right? But still, it's nice references to have. 4.8 versus 4.9 on a fully invested Guillotine, Sakura doing 5 bill versus 4.7, and then Mana doing 4.3 versus 4.6. Mana is a little bit more complicated. She's also providing, of course, the heals, the buff, everything else, right? Mana is not just like a sub DPS, it's more of a utility character, I would say. That said, a phase 2 character for Julia, it's already looking really good. I'm gonna be honest, after you build Toph, I think it's the only one worth building from this batch if you are already done with Helm, Drake, and Miranda, because those are fantastic. I'm pretty sure Julia will be at the same tier as Toph, Miranda, and Drake when we get the phase 3, and we can see the extra damage she's dealing, but maybe we are tripping and she just stays at the T2. That said though, I am recording this video before Elec comes out. We're gonna be pulling for Elec tonight, so you probably already saw my first impressions for her and whatnot. When we get the phase 3 in a couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure Scarrow is missing like 20 or 30 materials in here. Let me see, maintain, yeah, 80 out of 110. This is so slow, bro. Considering how long they take to release new treasures still, and that you need to be leveling up also the normal dolls for the characters, it's still kind of slow, but it is what it is. I am pretty happy with the Julia treasure. It feels like a proper one in contrast to, for example, Bay and Polly for PvP. Don't get me wrong, I understand that there is an audience for PvP in Nikke, but it's clearly a minority, and making 2 treasures out of the 4 we got just for PvP feels really stupid in my opinion. But then again, I am not a PvP enjoyer. That's gonna be it for this one. We're gonna be live like every single day. Links in the description down below. Love you all bastards. And as usual, good luck with your pool dinner rates. I'll see you in the next one.